If you do not listen to yourself, my dear, you may spend years walking away from the very things your soul has been trying to tell you. You may stay too long in places that drain you. You may continue loving people who ask you to disappear in order to keep them comfortable. You may keep saying, "I'm fine," while something inside quietly grows more tired, more distant, more numb. And one day you wake up and realize the deepest exhaustion did not come from work, responsibility, or even heartbreak. It came from constantly abandoning your own inner voice. That is why this conversation matters so much. Because the missing piece in your life may not be more advice, more information, or more approval. The missing piece may simply be trust in yourself again. So many people already know deep inside what no longer fits. The body knows, the heart knows, the nervous system knows. But fear becomes loud. Habit becomes loud. Other people's expectations become loud. And slowly, the quiet wisdom within gets buried underneath all the noise. You may know a relationship no longer feels safe, yet you stay because you are afraid of loneliness. You may know your body is exhausted, yet you keep pushing because you think rest means failure. You may know you need a different path, yet you keep shrinking yourself because disappointing others feels unbearable. The answer was never fully gone. It was simply covered. Self-trust does not mean you become a person who is always right. Oh no, darling. Human beings are still learning, growing, changing, discovering. Self-trust means something softer and deeper. It means you stop abandoning what you feel in order to stay comfortable. It means you stop treating your intuition like an inconvenience. It means you are willing to take one honest step even before you have total certainty. That is courage. Real courage is not the absence of fear. It is staying connected to yourself while fear is present. I trust the quiet wisdom within me, and sometimes listening to yourself comes with a cost. This is the part many people do not talk about. Listening inward may ask you to leave the familiar. It may ask you to outgrow the version of yourself that survived by pleasing everyone. It may ask you to walk away from environments where your soul has been shrinking. It may ask you to stop pretending you are happy when you are deeply disconnected. The truth does not always feel comfortable in the beginning. Sometimes it feels lonely before it feels freeing. You may lose certain relationships when you begin honoring yourself, not because you became unloving, but because the relationship depended on your self-abandonment. You may disappoint people who benefited from you having no boundaries. You may question yourself. You may wonder, am I making a mistake? Because growth often feels unfamiliar at first. The old life still pulls at you, while the new life has not fully formed yet. That in-between space can feel tender. But please remember this: discomfort is not always danger. Sometimes discomfort is simply the nervous system learning a new reality. There are moments when the soul quietly says, "We cannot stay here forever." Not because everything is terrible. Sometimes things are simply no longer alive for you. The old version of you could survive there, but the new version cannot breathe there anymore. And self-trust is choosing to honor that knowing before your spirit goes completely numb. I can choose what is right, even when it feels uncomfortable. Now, listening to yourself does not mean overthinking every emotion until you become trapped inside your own mind. Many people confuse intuition with anxiety because both can feel intense. Listening inward is not endless mental analysis. It is becoming present enough to hear what is true beneath the noise. It is asking simple questions with honesty. What do I really feel? What do I really need? What feels heavy? What feels alive? What am I pretending not to know? These questions are not here to attack you. They are invitations back to yourself. When you begin listening inward, you may realize how often your choices were built around other people's comfort. What will they think? Will they still love me? Will they leave? Will they be disappointed? Slowly, you learn to ask a different question. What is true for me? That question changes lives. Because the moment you begin valuing your own inner experience, healing begins. You stop living only from the outside in. You begin living from the inside out. And then emotions begin speaking more clearly too. Many of us were taught to fear our feelings. We learn to suppress anger, hide sadness, minimize loneliness, or shame ourselves for anxiety. But emotions are not enemies, they are messengers. Anxiety may be saying, something inside does not feel safe. Anger may be saying, a boundary was crossed. Sadness may be saying, something important needs care. Loneliness may be saying, I miss connection, including connection with myself. When you stop fighting your emotions, you can finally hear what they are trying to protect. Try naming the feeling gently instead of becoming the feeling completely. I feel anxious. I feel unseen. I feel overwhelmed. I feel lonely right now. There is healing in naming things honestly. The nervous system relaxes when it no longer has to hide the truth. And once something is named, it can be held with compassion instead of fear. What I can name, I can begin to heal. The body also speaks constantly, my dear. The body is often wiser than the thinking mind because it reacts before the conscious mind creates a story. You may feel tightness in your chest before you admit a relationship is hurting you. Your stomach may ache before you admit you are overwhelmed. Your throat may tighten because there are words you never allow yourself to speak. Your shoulders may carry years of pressure that the heart never felt safe enough to release. The body is not trying to punish you. It is communicating with you. When you slow down enough to listen, the body becomes less frightening and more sacred. Instead of saying, "What is wrong with me?" you begin asking, "What is my body trying to tell me?" Perhaps your exhaustion is not laziness. Perhaps it is emotional overload. Perhaps your numbness is not weakness. Perhaps it is protection. Perhaps your anxiety is not proof that you are broken. Perhaps it is a signal that some part of your life no longer feels aligned with your truth. Try a simple body scan sometimes. Sit quietly, breathe slowly, notice your jaw, notice your shoulders, notice your chest, notice your stomach, notice your breathing. Where is the tension? Where does the body soften? You do not have to force anything to change. Just notice. Awareness itself is healing because awareness reconnects you with yourself. And then begin responding to small needs with love. Drink water when you are thirsty. Sleep when you are exhausted. Rest before burnout. Cry before numbness. Speak before resentment grows too heavy. The soul heals through these small acts of listening. My body is not betraying me. It is guiding me. And perhaps the deepest healing of all is realizing that the missing part inside you was never truly missing. It was waiting, waiting beneath survival, waiting beneath noise, waiting beneath overthinking and people-pleasing and fear, waiting for you to finally stop running long enough to listen. Because there is a voice inside you that already knows when something is draining your spirit. There is a wisdom inside you that recognizes truth before the mind catches up. There is a part of you that already senses what kind of love feels nourishing and what kind of love makes you disappear. And the more you listen, the stronger that connection becomes. But here is the important part, darling. Listening to yourself may change your whole life. Once you truly hear your inner truth, it becomes harder to betray it. Once your soul says, "This is hurting me," you cannot fully pretend not to know anymore. Once your body says, "I am tired," something in you begins craving a different way to live. And that can feel terrifying at first, because healing does not only ask us to feel differently, sometimes it asks us to live differently too. And in the next part, we are going to go even deeper into this. We are going to talk about the hidden ways people disconnect from themselves, the signs that your intuition has been trying to protect you, and the practical steps that help you rebuild trust with your own inner voice again. Because, my dear, when you truly learn to listen to yourself, you stop searching everywhere else for the answers you have been carrying inside all along. And once you begin listening to yourself, you may notice something very interesting, my dear. There is not only one voice inside the mind. There is the frightened voice, the critical voice, the old family voice, the voice of someone who once judged you, the voice of society, the voice of guilt, the voice of hurry. And underneath all of that, there is another voice, a quieter one, a wiser one. It does not shout, it does not insult you, it does not rush you into panic. It feels more like a hand on the shoulder, a little lamp in a dark room, a steady feeling that says, "This is true for you." But to hear that voice, we must first notice the other voices we have been letting run the house. Sometimes the self-critical voice sounds so familiar that we mistake it for truth. It says, "I am terrible. I am not good enough. I always make mistakes. I should have known better. Everyone else is ahead of me." And because it has been repeated for so long, the body reacts as though it is fact. The shoulders drop, the stomach tightens, the heart closes a little. You begin to feel unsafe inside your own mind. And that is a very painful way to live, isn't it? To have the world outside be difficult is one thing, but to have the mind inside become another place of attack is exhausting. No wonder the soul becomes tired. So, we do not fight that voice with another harsh voice. That would only continue the same pattern. We simply begin to answer differently. When the old voice says, "I am failing," perhaps the new voice says, "I am learning." When the old voice says, "I cannot do this," the new voice says, "I can take one gentle step." When the old voice says, "I am not safe," the new voice says, "I am here with myself now." These are not small changes. They are the beginning of a new inner relationship. You are teaching the mind that growth does not require cruelty. You are teaching the inner child that mistakes do not mean abandonment. You are teaching the body that your own voice can become a place of comfort. I speak to myself as someone I am learning to love. And I love that phrase, learning to love, because it gives you room. You do not have to instantly adore every part of yourself. You do not have to wake up one morning and suddenly be free of all criticism. You are learning. You are practicing a new language. If you grew up hearing criticism, approval with conditions, silence, comparison, or emotional unpredictability, then tenderness may feel unfamiliar at first. That is all right. Familiarity is not the same as truth. The old voice may be familiar, but the loving voice is the one that heals. And every time you choose the gentler sentence, you are laying one more stone on the path home. This is how the inner dialogue begins to change, not by forcing yourself to be positive all the time, but by becoming honest and kind at the same time. You can say, "I am afraid," without saying, "I am weak." You can say, "I made a mistake," without saying, "I am a mistake." You can say, "This hurts," without saying, "I will never heal." That distinction is everything. Pain does not need punishment. Pain needs presence. And the more present you become with yourself, the easier it becomes to hear the deeper voice beneath the noise. That deeper voice is your intuition. It is not always dramatic. It does not always arrive with thunder or certainty. Very often, it is quiet. It may feel like a small no in the body, a soft yes in the chest, a pull toward something, a tiredness around something else, a feeling of peace that does not make perfect sense yet. Fear shouts. Intuition usually does not. Fear pushes. Intuition guides. Fear says, "You must decide now or everything will be ruined." Intuition says, "Slow down, listen, something here matters." Fear creates a storm in the mind. Intuition often feels like a clear note beneath the storm. To hear intuition, you may need to step away from other people's voices for a little while. Not forever, just long enough to know what is yours. There are times when advice is beautiful, but if you ask everyone what you should do before asking yourself what feels true, you may become more confused. One person speaks from their fear, another speaks from their past, another speaks from what they would do, and soon your own wisdom becomes buried under a crowd of opinions. Sometimes the most healing thing you can do is become quiet and ask, "What brings me deeper peace, not just temporary comfort?" This is an important question. Temporary comfort may say, "Go back to the old pattern, at least it is familiar." Deeper peace may say, "Keep walking, even though this is new." Temporary comfort may say yes so no one is disappointed. Deeper peace may say, "Tell the truth gently." Temporary comfort may say, "Ignore the discomfort. Maybe it will go away." Deeper peace may say, "This feeling is information. The right decision is not always the easiest one at first." Sometimes it asks courage. Sometimes it asks patience. Sometimes it asks you to disappoint an old version of yourself. But often there is a clean feeling underneath it, a feeling of honesty. My intuition speaks softly, and I am learning to listen. You can practice listening in very ordinary ways. Before you answer a request, pause and feel your body. Before you say yes, notice whether your chest opens or tightens. Before you make a choice, ask, "Am I choosing from fear, guilt, or love?" Before you return to an old situation, ask, "Does this feel like growth, or does this feel like self-abandonment?" The body may not give you a full essay. It may simply give you a sensation: heavy, light, tight, open, calm, rushed, dull, alive. These are little clues. They are part of the way your inner wisdom communicates. And once you begin hearing the inner answer, you must protect it. This is where boundaries come in. A boundary is not a wall built from bitterness. A boundary is a loving structure that keeps your truth from being trampled. It says, "This is where my energy ends and yours begins." It says, "I can love you, but I cannot live by your expectations." It says, "I can listen, but I will not abandon what I know inside." Without boundaries, your intuition may speak, but the world will quickly talk over it. You may know you need rest, but you say yes again. You may know a relationship drains you, but you keep explaining it away. You may know a workplace is shrinking you, but you tell yourself you should be grateful for any place that accepts you. And slowly, the inner voice becomes quiet again, because it learns you will not act on what you hear. My dear, you cannot hear yourself clearly if you are always answering the call of everyone else's urgency. You cannot know your own needs if every day is spent fulfilling expectations that do not belong to you. You cannot build self-trust if every time your body says no, you make yourself say yes. Boundaries are how you tell your inner wisdom, "I heard you and I will honor you." That is how self-trust grows. Not by making perfect decisions, but by becoming loyal to the truth you already know. Sometimes the boundary is small. "I need time to think. I cannot do that today. That conversation does not feel good for me. I am going to rest. I am not available to be spoken to that way." Sometimes the boundary is larger, leaving a relationship, changing an environment, reducing contact, saying no to work that is costing your health, choosing a path that others do not understand. And yes, people may react, they may be disappointed, they may call you different, they may prefer the version of you who did not have boundaries. Let that be information, not a command to abandon yourself again. You do not set boundaries to punish anyone. You set boundaries so you can remain present without resentment. If you keep saying yes when you mean no, love turns into bitterness. If you keep staying where your soul is shrinking, gratitude turns into numbness. If you keep silencing your truth, the body will often speak for you. Boundaries keep the heart clean. They allow your yes to become honest again. They allow your love to come from choice, not fear. My boundaries protect the wisdom within me. And perhaps the most beautiful thing is this: each time you speak to yourself kindly, your inner world becomes safer. Each time you listen to intuition, your self-trust grows. Each time you set a boundary, the missing part of you feels a little less abandoned. The healing is not always dramatic. It may happen in a pause before saying yes, in a quiet no, in a hand on the heart, in a journal sentence that finally tells the truth, in a day when you choose rest instead of proving, in a moment when you stop asking, "What will they think?" and begin asking, "What do I know?" This is how you come home to yourself. Not all at once, not with one grand decision, but through 1,000 small acts of listening. You listen to the thought, you change the tone. You listen to the body, you honor the signal. You listen to the intuition, you protect it with a boundary, and slowly, the self you thought was missing begins to return. It was not gone forever. It was waiting for you to stop leaving it behind. So today, let the inner voice become softer. Let the intuition have a little room. Let one boundary protect one truth. You do not need to explain your whole soul to everyone. You do not need to make every person comfortable before you can be honest. You are allowed to know what you know. You are allowed to feel what you feel. You are allowed to choose what brings you deeper peace. I speak to myself as someone I am learning to love. My intuition speaks softly, and I am learning to listen. My boundaries protect the wisdom within me. And as you practice this, my dear, you will discover that the answers were never far away. They were simply waiting for a safe place inside you to be heard. This is the most important part I want to share with you, my dear. If you have listened this far, then perhaps some quiet place inside you is ready to be heard. Because when you truly listen to yourself, you begin to discover that the problem was never that you were empty or broken. Very often, you were missing something that should have been given with love, safety, affection, recognition, rest, freedom, trust, permission to be yourself. And when those needs were not met, you may have tried to fill them in painful ways. You may have chased people for reassurance. You may have worked too hard to be approved of. You may have kept yourself busy so you would not feel the ache. But the ache was not there to punish you. It was there to say, please come closer. Something in me still needs care. I listen, I understand, and I give myself what was missing. So instead of asking, what is wrong with me? Begin asking something softer. What has been missing for me? That one question changes the whole atmosphere. It moves you out of blame and into healing. If what has been missing is safety, then the heart may be asking for steadiness, a gentler routine, a quieter morning. People who do not keep your nervous system in alarm. Small promises you make to yourself and actually keep, not huge promises, little ones. I will drink water when I wake up. I will rest when I am exhausted. I will not answer from panic. I will speak to myself kindly when I feel afraid. These little promises may seem ordinary, but to the frightened part of you, they are proof that someone reliable is finally here. When you lack safety inside, you may overthink everything. You may try to control what people feel, what they say, what they mean, whether they will stay. You may fear change because change once felt like loss. You may fear silence because silence once felt like abandonment. And if this is you, please do not shame yourself. Your body is not being dramatic. It is remembering. So healing safety means teaching the body slowly that now is not then. You do not force yourself to be brave overnight. You build safety one small moment at a time. A slower breath, a calmer room, a truthful no. A person whose presence softens you instead of tightens you. And perhaps when fear rises, you simply tell yourself, I am safe now. I am here. I will not leave myself in this feeling. I build safety inside me, one gentle promise at a time. If what has been missing is love, then the healing may need to become very tender. You may have spent years waiting for someone else to choose you so that you could finally feel worthy. You may have searched for validation in messages, praise, attention, romance, achievement, or being needed. And none of this makes you wrong. It only means a part of you was hungry to be seen. But now, darling, you can begin to see yourself, not in a loud way, not as a performance, just simply, lovingly. You can look in the mirror and say, I see you. I know you have tried so hard. I know you wanted to be loved. I am here now. That kind of seeing is medicine. If you are missing recognition, start acknowledging the small things no one clapped for. The way you kept going when you were tired. The way you healed quietly. The way you survived things you did not know how to explain. The way you tried to be kind even when your heart was heavy. the way you are learning to speak differently to yourself. Write them down if you need to. Let the inner child hear it. I see your effort. I see your courage. I see how much you have carried. You do not need to wait for someone else to notice before your life counts. You can become the loving witness you were waiting for. I see myself, and that seeing begins to heal me. And if what has been missing is freedom, then perhaps healing begins with telling the truth. Not all at once, not recklessly, but gently, consistently. This does not feel right for me. I need time. I want something different. I am tired. I do not want to keep living this way. Freedom often begins as one honest sentence. And once you speak the truth to yourself, the old life may not feel the same. That can be frightening, but it can also be the beginning of coming alive. You see, the missing part is not healed by punishment. It is healed by presence. You do not heal the lack of safety by frightening yourself. You do not heal the lack of love by criticizing yourself. You do not heal the lack of recognition by dismissing your own effort. You do not heal the lack of freedom by continuing to silence your truth. Healing happens when you finally give yourself, in small daily ways, what you once needed so deeply from others. Let these thoughts become quiet companions for you. The answers I seek are already within me. I trust myself enough to take the next loving step. My feelings, body, and intuition are guiding me home. I give myself the love, safety, and recognition I once needed. I heal the missing part and become whole again. Do not rush them. Let one sentence find the place in you that needs it most. Perhaps today you need safety. Perhaps tomorrow you need recognition. Perhaps tonight you need rest. Listen. Your inner world will tell you. And if this message has touched you, write the words, I listen to myself, as a promise to your own heart. You may also write the part you are ready to heal: safety, love, confidence, rest, boundaries, trust, or freedom. Not to prove anything, just to name the doorway you are walking through. My dear, you have the answers. They may not come as noise. They may come as a feeling in the body, a quiet knowing, a tear, a tiredness, a longing, a little yes, a very clear no. Listen gently, trust what rises, and give yourself what was missing until the abandoned places inside you begin to feel held, known, and loved. You are not far from yourself. You are coming home. Let us redefine self-abandonment, my dear, because many people think it means something very dramatic, and often it is much quieter than that. Self-abandonment is not always leaving your whole life behind. Sometimes it is smiling when your heart is saying no. Sometimes it is saying, it's fine, when something inside you is aching. Sometimes it is swallowing your needs because you are afraid that if you have needs, someone will leave. Sometimes it is becoming whatever the room wants you to be, while the real you stands outside the door, waiting to be invited back in. And perhaps you have done this for so long that you did not even call it abandonment. You called it being easy. You called it being kind. You called it keeping peace. But peace that cost you your own truth is not peace. It is a quiet form of losing yourself. I no longer leave myself to be loved by others. You may have learned very early that love was safer when you did not ask for too much. Maybe the people around you were tired, distracted, angry, wounded, or emotionally unpredictable. Maybe you watched the mood of the house before you decided who you were allowed to be that day. Maybe you became the good one, the quiet one, the helpful one, the funny one, the strong one, the one who never made trouble. A child does not do this because the child is false. A child does this because the child wants love. The child says, if I become what they need, perhaps I will be safe. And then the child grows up and still believes, if I become what they want, perhaps I will be chosen. My dear, that pattern deserves compassion. It was not foolish, it was protection. But now it may be costing you the very intimacy you long for, because real love cannot meet the real you if the real you is always hiding. Self-abandonment often feels like splitting yourself into pieces. One part of you smiles and performs. One part stays silent. One part knows the truth but does not dare speak it. One part is angry. One part is afraid. One part keeps hoping that if you give enough, understand enough, wait enough, explain enough, someone will finally love you in the way you need. And the deepest part of you whispers, "What about me?" That whisper is sacred. Do not ignore it. It is the self calling you home. Choosing yourself does not mean you stop loving others. It means you stop disappearing while you love them. It means you can say, I care about you, and I care about me too. It means you no longer trade your inner peace for approval. It means you stop making your body carry the weight of words you never speak. It means your needs are not crimes. Your feelings are not inconveniences. Your boundaries are not betrayal. They are the shape of your self-respect. And now let us speak about something very tender, emotional permanence. This is the ability to trust that love can still exist even when you are not being constantly reassured. When someone is quiet, busy, away, tired, or not responding exactly as you hoped, a secure part of the heart can say, love may still be here. I do not have to panic. But if love in childhood was inconsistent, if affection came and went, if safety depended on someone else's mood, the nervous system may have learned a painful equation. Silence means abandonment. Distance means danger. Delay means rejection. And then, as an adult, even a small silence can feel huge. You may check your phone again and again. You may replay every word. You may wonder what you did wrong. You may send another message, not because you have something to say, but because your body is begging for reassurance. Please hear me gently. This does not mean you are too sensitive. It means something in you is asking to be soothed. There is a little one inside who once did not know whether love would stay. And when the adult world becomes quiet, that old child wakes up. The answer is not to shame yourself. The answer is not to say, why am I like this? The answer is to become the steady presence that was missing. You begin to tell yourself, I am here. I will not leave you in this feeling. We can breathe. We do not need to chase reassurance to survive this moment. Slowly, the body learns a new truth. Love does not vanish just because it is not visible for 1 second. I am learning that love can still exist even when I cannot see it. This is a practice, not a switch. At first, the old fear may still come quickly. That is all right. The fear has had years of practice. Let it come and then meet it differently. Instead of running outside yourself immediately, come inward first. Ask, what is this feeling reminding me of? Maybe it is not only about the person today. Maybe it is about being little and waiting for someone to notice you. Maybe it is about a parent leaving, emotionally or physically. Maybe it is about love that felt warm one day and cold the next. When you understand the root, the present moment becomes less confusing. You realize, this is an old wound speaking through a current situation. And then you can care for the wound instead of obeying the panic. Now the cure begins with one very important truth. It was not your fault. If your parents divorced, if someone was absent, if someone was inconsistent, if someone did not know how to comfort you, if your feelings were ignored, if you were left to become the adult too early, that was not proof that you were unlovable. Children often believe everything is about them. If someone leaves, the child thinks, I must not have been enough. If someone is cold, the child thinks, I must have done something wrong. If someone is too overwhelmed to love properly, the child thinks, maybe I am too much. But those conclusions were made by a child trying to understand adult pain. They were never the truth of your worth. The people who raised you may have been carrying their own unhealed wounds. They may have loved you with the limited tools they had. They may have been frightened, immature, distracted, depressed, angry, or lost in their own patterns. This does not erase what hurt you. It simply helps you stop making their limitations your identity. Someone else's inability to love you well is not evidence that you were hard to love. It may only be evidence that they did not know how to love from wholeness, and you do not have to keep wearing shame that belongs to a story larger than you. You are valuable because you exist, not because someone stayed, not because someone chose you, not because someone understood your heart perfectly, not because you were useful, quiet, beautiful, successful, pleasing, or easy. You are valuable because life made you, because your soul is here, because there is a light in you that no one's inconsistency could destroy. You may have forgotten it. You may have hidden it. You may have spent years trying to earn what should have been given freely, but the worth is still there. Perhaps healing self-abandonment begins in very small moments. You tell the truth a little sooner. You rest when you are tired. You stop apologizing for having feelings. You do not send the extra message when what you really need is to hold your own heart. You ask, what do I want? Before asking, what will make them stay? You notice when your body tightens around a yes that should have been a no. You choose yourself not with anger, but with warmth. Like opening the door and saying to the real you, come in. I am sorry I left you outside for so long. And if fear says, but if I choose myself, they may leave, answer softly. Then I will not lose myself trying to keep what cannot meet me. The love that is right for you will not require your disappearance. The people who truly belong in your life will want to know the real you, not only the pleasing version. And even when someone cannot stay, you can stay with yourself. That is the great healing. That is emotional freedom beginning. My dear, what happened to you was not proof that you were unlovable. It was proof that healing was needed somewhere, and now you are beginning to give that healing to yourself. You are learning that love can be steady. You are learning that silence does not always mean abandonment. You are learning that choosing yourself is not selfish. It is coming home. I no longer leave myself to be loved by others. What happened to me was not proof that I was unlovable. I am learning to stay with myself, and this is where my healing begins. I want to share some very practical ways to stop abandoning yourself. Because healing is not only something we understand in the mind, it is something we practice in the little moments when the old pattern comes back. It is in the moment you want to say yes, but your whole body is quietly saying no. It is in the moment you want to explain yourself for the 10th time, hoping someone will finally understand your heart. It is in the moment you feel panic because someone is silent and the old wound whispers, "Maybe I did something wrong." These are the moments where healing becomes real. Not in a perfect, spiritual, polished way, in a very human way. You pause, you notice, you come back to yourself. You tell the frightened part of you, "I know why you want to run after love. I know why you want to fix everything. But this time, we are going to stay here. We are going to choose ourselves with tenderness." One of the first ways we stop abandoning ourselves is by changing the meaning we gave to the past. This is very important because the child mind often makes painful conclusions that were never true. A child does not have the whole picture. A child only knows they left, they were angry, they did not listen, they were not steady, they did not protect me. And then the child says, "It must be because of me." That conclusion can live inside a person for years. It becomes the quiet belief underneath many adult choices. I must not be enough. I must try harder. I must become easier to love. I must hide my feelings. And then, without knowing it, you keep living from a story that was formed when you were too young to understand what was really happening. So let us make the story kinder and also truer. Instead of saying, "I was abandoned because I was not good enough," you may begin to say, "I was not loved with the steadiness I needed." Do you feel the difference? One sentence wounds you again, the other tells the truth without making you the problem. Instead of saying, "I have to try harder to be chosen," you may say, "I deserve love that does not require me to disappear." That sentence lets your body breathe. Instead of saying, "I am too emotional," you may say, "My emotions are showing me where I need care." That is such a gentle shift. Suddenly your feelings are not enemies. They are little lamps showing you the places that are asking for love. The past may not change, but the meaning can. And when the meaning changes, the present changes too. If you believe the past means you are unlovable, you will keep trying to prove your worth. If you believe the past means you needed more steadiness, more tenderness, more protection, then you can begin giving those things to yourself now. You stop arguing with your own heart. You stop making your needs wrong. You stop chasing people who repeat the old wound. A kinder meaning is not an excuse for what hurt you. It is a doorway out of the prison. I give my past a kinder meaning, and I free myself. Then we begin to rebuild. And rebuilding yourself does not mean becoming hard, cold, or untouchable. It means finding the inner structure that allows your love to feel safe. Think of a home. A home needs warmth, yes, but it also needs walls. It needs doors. It needs a roof. It needs a place where you can say, "This belongs here, and this does not." Your values are like that. They become the structure of your inner home. Without values, the old wound will choose for you. Fear will choose. Loneliness will choose. The need to be approved of will choose. But when you know your values, you have a map back to yourself. Write them down if you can. Peace, honesty, respect, freedom, growth, love, kindness, stability, joy, health, truth. Perhaps your values are simple, and that is beautiful. You may value a quiet life. You may value emotional safety. You may value creativity. You may value loyalty. You may value spiritual connection. You may value financial responsibility. You may value communication. Do not choose values because they sound impressive. Choose the ones your soul has been longing for. If you have lived in chaos, peace may be sacred to you. If you have lived with lies, honesty may feel like oxygen. If you have been controlled, freedom may be a deep need. If you have been neglected, consistency may feel like love. And then write what is no longer acceptable, not with anger, with clarity. I do not accept being insulted. I do not accept being manipulated. I do not accept being repeatedly ignored. I do not accept being made to feel small. I do not accept pressure that pushes me past my boundaries. I do not accept relationships where my body is always anxious. I do not accept love that requires me to silence myself. These statements are not walls against love. They are doors that allow healthy love to enter and unhealthy patterns to leave. If you do not yet know what you want, begin with what you are too tired to keep enduring. This is often where clarity starts. Sometimes the heart cannot yet say, I want peaceful love, but it can say, I am tired of anxious love. It cannot yet say, I want respect, but it can say, I am tired of being mocked. It cannot yet say, I want freedom, but it can say, I am tired of being controlled. That is enough. Start there. Let your exhaustion become information. Let your body tell you where your soul has been overpaying for acceptance. A person without clear standards can easily return to the old pattern, not because they are weak, but because the old pattern is familiar. Familiarity can feel like home even when it hurts. This is why values matter. They help you recognize the difference between love and longing, between chemistry and safety, between being chosen and being respected. When your values become clear, you no longer have to ask, do they like me? As the first question. You begin asking, does this honor my peace? Does this match my truth? Can I be myself here? Does this connection help me grow, or does it make me shrink? My values become the map that leads me back to myself. And then comes retaining yourself, staying with yourself, holding yourself through the moment when the old wound wants to pull you away. Self-respect is not one big heroic decision. It is a loop. One choice strengthens the next choice. The first time you say no when your body means no, something inside you stands a little taller. The first time you do not send the anxious message, something inside learns, I can survive this feeling. The first time you leave a conversation that becomes disrespectful, the inner child begins to trust you. The first time you rest instead of proving, you teach your body that your worth is not built on exhaustion. Every act of self-respect sends a message inward. I matter. And that message begins to change the nervous system. You may not feel fully strong at first. You may still shake. You may still worry that someone will be disappointed. You may still feel guilty after choosing yourself. That is not a sign you did something wrong. It may simply mean your system is not used to you staying loyal to yourself. Keep going gently. The guilt will soften as self-respect becomes more familiar. The panic will soften as your body learns that choosing yourself does not mean you will be alone forever. It means you will no longer be separated from yourself. And as you keep honoring yourself, Your tolerance for what drains you becomes lower. This is a good thing. It does not mean you are becoming cold. It means you are becoming clear. There is a big difference. Coldness shuts the heart. Clarity protects the heart. Coldness says, I will not feel. Clarity says, I can feel, and I can still choose what is healthy. Coldness builds a wall. Clarity builds a boundary. Coldness comes from fear. Clarity comes from self-respect. You are not here to become hard. You are here to become whole. The loop becomes beautiful. You choose yourself, you feel a little safer, and because you feel safer, you can choose yourself again. Self-respect begins to gather momentum. The old loop said, abandon myself, feel empty, chase love, accept less, feel more afraid. The new loop says, honor myself, feel safer, trust myself, choose better, feel more whole. This is not instant, but it is powerful. And one day you notice that what once pulled you in no longer has the same power. The mixed signal is not as intoxicating. The unavailable person is not as irresistible. The disrespectful comment does not make you try harder. It makes you step back. That is healing. Quiet, ordinary, beautiful healing. Every time I honor myself, I teach myself that I matter. And now let us talk about boundaries as a way of protecting the child within you. This may make it easier to understand. Imagine your 10-year-old self standing beside you. See that child's face. See their eyes. See how much they wanted to be loved, included, understood, protected. Now imagine someone speaking to that child with cruelty, mocking them, ignoring them, manipulating them, pushing them past what feels safe. Would you stand there and say, well, I do not want to upset anyone? No, darling. Something in you would rise. You would step in front of that child and say, you do not get to speak to my child that way. That is what a boundary is. It is the adult you becoming the protector your younger self needed. When you set a boundary with someone toxic, inconsistent, disrespectful, or manipulative, you are not only protecting your adult schedule or your adult energy, you are telling the child within, I see you now. I will not leave you alone with this again. And that matters so much. Many abandonment wounds continue because the adult keeps repeating the original abandonment inwardly. The child felt unprotected then, and now the adult self does not protect them either. But the moment you begin setting boundaries, the old story starts to change. The child inside begins to feel, someone is here, someone is on my side, I am not alone anymore. Boundaries do not always need long explanations. Sometimes they are simple. That does not work for me. I am not available for this conversation if I am being insulted. I need time to think. No, I cannot do that. Please do not speak to me that way. I am going to step away now. The old people-pleasing self may want to explain, apologize, decorate the boundary, make it soft enough that no one feels uncomfortable. But a boundary does not need to be harsh to be clear. It can be calm, it can be brief, it can be loving and firm at the same time. Some people will be disappointed when you set a boundary. Let them be disappointed. Their disappointment is not always a sign that you have done something wrong. Sometimes it is simply a sign that they are adjusting to the fact that you no longer abandon yourself automatically. You are not responsible for managing every reaction. You are responsible for speaking truth with as much kindness as you can and staying connected to yourself afterward. If someone needs you to have no boundaries in order to love you, then what they love may not be your true self. It may be your self-abandonment. Boundaries also prevent resentment. This is something very important. Many people avoid boundaries because they think boundaries are unloving. But without boundaries, love often turns into resentment. You say yes while meaning no. You give while feeling depleted. You stay silent while feeling hurt. Then anger builds quietly inside. A clear boundary may feel uncomfortable for a moment, but it keeps the heart clean. It allows you to remain present without pretending. It allows love to stay honest. My boundaries tell my inner child, I will protect you now. And perhaps the most healing boundary is the one you make with your own old pattern. You may say, I no longer chase people who are unclear with me. I no longer ignore my body's tightness. I no longer call anxiety love. I no longer betray my values to keep someone near. I no longer speak to myself with the voice of someone who hurt me. These inner boundaries are just as important as outer ones. They teach the subconscious mind that a new adult is in charge now. Not a harsh adult, a loving one, a wise one, a steady one. You may not do this perfectly, and that is all right. Sometimes you may abandon yourself again and only notice afterward. That still counts as healing because now you noticed. The old pattern used to happen in the dark. Now the light is on. You can say, there I went again, trying to earn love by disappearing. Let me come back. No shame, no cruelty. Just return. Healing self-abandonment is made of many returns. Return to the body, return to the breath, return to your values, return to the child within, return to the truth. Return to the quiet question, what would choosing myself look like here? Sometimes choosing yourself will look like speaking. Sometimes it will look like silence. Sometimes it will look like leaving. Sometimes it will look like staying, but staying honestly. Sometimes it will look like resting. Sometimes it will look like asking for what you need. Sometimes it will look like allowing someone to be disappointed. Sometimes it will look like forgiving yourself for not knowing how to do this sooner. All of it is part of coming home. And the beautiful thing is, as you stop abandoning yourself, love becomes cleaner. You no longer seek love as a rescue from your own emptiness. You no longer need someone else to constantly prove that you exist. You can receive love with more peace because your own foundation is growing. You can give love without disappearing. You can be close without becoming lost. You can be alone without feeling worthless. This is real freedom. So begin today with one practical act. Reframe one old story. Write one value. Name one thing you no longer accept. Honor one small boundary. Say one sentence to the inner child, I will protect you now. You do not need to rebuild the whole self in one afternoon. Just lay one brick, a kind brick, a true brick, a brick that says, I matter. My dear, you are not selfish for choosing yourself. You are not difficult for having needs. You are not too much because you feel deeply. You are not unlovable because someone failed to love you steadily. You are learning to give the past a kinder meaning. You are rebuilding your life with values that honor your soul. You are creating a loop of self-respect. You are protecting the child within. And every time you do this, you are no longer leaving yourself outside the door. You are opening the door and saying, come home. I am here now. And then there comes a moment, my dear, when your body can no longer pretend for you. Your mouth may still say, "I'm fine," but the stomach tightens. Your face may still smile, but the chest feels heavy. Your hands may keep doing what everyone expects, but something inside whispers, "I am tired of leaving myself." Listen to that whisper. It is not weakness. It is wisdom returning. My discomfort is information, not weakness. Many people abandon themselves in very ordinary ways. They stay in places that do not fit their spirit and then try to soothe the emptiness with food, shopping, scrolling, overworking, or becoming numb. They say yes when the whole body is saying no because they are afraid someone will be disappointed. They remain silent when something hurts and then later blame themselves for not being stronger. But darling, the body often knows before the mind is ready to admit it. The body says, "This is not kind to us. This is not safe for us. This is not true for us." So come back slowly. Ask, what am I really feeling? Not what should I feel, not what would make everyone comfortable, but what is true here. Ask, what do I need that I have been afraid to name? Ask, am I doing this from love or from the fear of being left? These questions are little doors back to yourself. And then choose one small act of loyalty. Rest when you are tired. Tell the truth gently. Pause before saying yes. Step away from what drains you. Speak to yourself kindly after a mistake. Each small choice teaches the nervous system, we are safe now. We do not abandon ourselves anymore. I choose myself in small ways until my nervous system believes me. People-pleasing says, "I must make you happy to be safe." Self-choosing says, "I can love you and still stay true to myself." You do not need to become hard. You only need to become honest. I can be loving without abandoning myself. So many people ask me, what does it really mean to love myself? And today I would like to sit with you gently and talk about that. Because self-love has become such a big phrase, hasn't it? People say it everywhere. Love yourself, choose yourself, heal yourself, become happy by yourself. And these are lovely words, but sometimes the heart is still using them for an old reason. Sometimes we say, "I am going to love myself so that someone will miss me," or "I am going to become beautiful so that they regret leaving," or "I am going to be happy so they can see that I am fine." And my dear, that may be the beginning, because sometimes pain pushes us toward healing, but it cannot be the foundation. If your self-love is still built around another person's reaction, then you are still giving that person the key to your worth. Real self-love begins in a much quieter place. It begins when you say, "I am doing this because I live here, inside this body, inside this mind, inside this life. I am doing this because I deserve to feel at home with myself. I love myself for me, not because of anyone else." And perhaps for a while, you did try to heal because someone hurt you. That is all right. We are not going to criticize that. Many of us begin there. We begin with a broken heart, with disappointment, with the little ache of not being chosen, not being understood, not being held properly. And at first, we want to become stronger so that we will never feel that way again. But then, if we keep walking, something beautiful happens. We realize self-love is not revenge. It is not a performance. It is not a message we send to someone from the past. Self-love is the way we come back into our own arms. It is the way we stop leaving ourselves every time someone else cannot stay. It is the way we stop measuring our beauty, value, and future by another person's attention. You do not love yourself to prove anything. You love yourself because you are the one you wake up with every morning. You are the one who hears your thoughts. You are the one who feels your feelings. You are the one who must live with the inner voice you create. And that is why the first step is not grand. It is not dramatic. It is not buying new clothes, changing your face, changing your life overnight, or pretending you feel wonderful when you do not. The first step is usually much softer. It is to stop criticizing yourself so much you cannot fall in love with your life while your own mind is attacking you all day. You cannot enjoy being yourself if there is a voice inside that keeps saying you are not enough, you should be better, you are too late, you always ruin things. You are not lovable. That voice may feel familiar, but familiarity is not truth. It may have come from childhood, from school, from family, from old relationships, from a culture that taught you to find flaws before you find beauty. But it does not have to be the voice you continue to obey. Self-criticism often pretends to be self-improvement. It says, I am only trying to help you become better. But look at the feeling it creates. Does it make you feel safe? Does it make you feel encouraged? Does it make your body soften and your heart open? Usually, no. It makes you afraid of yourself. It makes you tense. It makes change feel like punishment. Real change begins in gentleness. A flower does not open because someone yells at it. A child does not learn more deeply because someone shames them. And you, my dear, will not become happier by frightening yourself every morning. You begin to change when your inner world becomes safe enough to grow. I stop criticizing myself, and I begin to feel safe inside. Maybe today you do not need to love everything about yourself all at once. That may feel too large. Start smaller, much smaller. Compliment one little thing, not because you are trying to be vain, not because you are pretending, because your subconscious mind needs new evidence. It has heard enough criticism. Give it another language. Perhaps you look in the mirror and notice your eyes. There is softness in my eyes today. Perhaps you notice your smile. My smile is kind. Perhaps you notice your effort. I am proud of myself for continuing. Perhaps you notice how you got through a hard day. I did not give up on myself. These are little sentences, but little sentences repeated with love become new pathways. Do not wait until you believe the compliment perfectly. Just offer it, like giving water to a plant. The plant does not say, I do not fully believe in water today. It simply receives what it can. Your heart is like that too. At first, the compliment may feel strange. The old mind may interrupt and say, no, that is not true. Let it chatter. You are practicing something new. You are not forcing yourself into a grand declaration. You are gently teaching yourself that it is safe to see good here, in you, now. One small compliment a day can begin to rebuild the relationship you have with yourself. It can become a tiny brick in the house of self-respect. And one day, the house feels less empty. One day, you begin to enjoy being you. Every small compliment teaches me to enjoy being me. And now we come to a sentence I love very much because it heals a deep place. I'm with you. That is all. I'm with you. When fear comes, I'm with you. When loneliness comes, I'm with you. When you feel embarrassed, uncertain, rejected, tired, or not chosen, I'm with you. Many abandonment wounds do not heal only because someone else finally stays. They begin to heal when you stop leaving yourself in the moments you most need care. Think about it. When you are afraid, do you become harsh with yourself? When you are lonely, do you shame yourself for needing love? When you make a mistake, do you turn against yourself? That is the old abandonment repeating inside. The world may have left you before, but now the deeper healing is that you do not leave yourself. So when the old ache rises, do not rush to silence it with another person, another message, another distraction, another performance. Come inward for a moment. Speak to the part of you that feels small. I'm with you. I will not abandon you. You may not feel instantly peaceful. That is all right. The inner child may need to hear it many times. A child who has been left does not trust immediately. Stay anyway. Be consistent. Be warm. Let your own presence become reliable. That is how the body learns safety. That is how the heart stops looking outside for rescue every time a feeling appears. Not because love outside is bad, but because your own love must become the ground beneath you. And as you practice this, life begins to feel different. You are no longer waiting for someone to come and make you real. You are no longer making your happiness depend on whether someone sees you today. You begin to notice small pleasures again. The warmth of water on your hands, the morning light, a quiet cup of tea, the sound of your own breathing, the pleasure of dressing yourself with care, the relief of not attacking your reflection, the little joy of saying, I am here, I am staying with myself. This is how you fall in love with your life. Not by making it perfect, but by becoming present enough to bless it. You have given so much time to other people, my dear. You have listened, waited, explained, forgiven, worried, hoped, adjusted, helped, and held space for so many hearts. But have you ever taken yourself on a date? Have you ever sat with yourself not because no one else was available, but because you finally realized your own presence is lovely too? It sounds simple, doesn't it? Walking alone, drinking tea slowly, reading a few pages of a book, putting lotion on your hands, brushing your hair with tenderness, writing in a journal without needing anyone to understand, listening to music and letting the room become soft around you. These are not small things when they are done with love. They are little messages to the subconscious mind. I matter. My company matters. My life matters, even when no one is watching. And perhaps that is where self-love begins to become real. Not only in the words we repeat, but in the time we are willing to give ourselves. I enjoy my own company, and life becomes sweeter. For many people, being alone feels like proof of being unloved. The moment there is silence, the mind becomes restless. It wants a message, a call, a distraction, a person, anything to fill the space. But aloneness is not the same as abandonment. A quiet evening is not a punishment. Sitting with yourself is not emptiness unless you have been taught that your own presence is not enough, and that can be healed. Slowly, gently, you can begin to make your own company beautiful. You can light a candle, not because someone is coming over, but because you are there. You can cook something nourishing, not to impress anyone, but because your body deserves care. You can dress nicely on an ordinary day because you enjoy feeling good in your own skin. You can walk outside and notice the sky without needing to send a picture to anyone. You can become intimate with your own life. I have often thought that people wait too long to enjoy themselves. They wait until there is a partner. They wait until there is more money. They wait until they look different. They wait until the house is perfect, the body is perfect, the schedule is perfect, the mood is perfect, and life keeps passing in the meantime. My dear, do not wait until someone chooses you before you choose your day. Do not wait until everything is arranged before you allow a little pleasure. Your life is happening now, in this room, in this breath, in this body. The tea you drink today is part of your life. The street you walk on today is part of your life. The music you play today is part of your life. If you keep postponing joy until the dream version arrives, you may miss the little doorways through which happiness is already trying to enter. Taking yourself on a date may feel awkward at first. That is all right. Anything unfamiliar feels awkward in the beginning. If you have spent years giving your attention outward, the inward turn may feel strange. You may sit alone in a cafe and wonder what people think. You may walk by yourself and feel a little exposed. You may try to journal and not know what to say. Good. Begin there. Ask yourself, what would make me feel cared for today? Not what would impress anyone. Not what would prove you are fine. Just what would feel kind. Perhaps the answer is a slow walk. Perhaps washing your sheets. Perhaps buying flowers. Perhaps resting. Perhaps putting on music and cleaning one little corner of your room. Perhaps reading instead of scrolling. These little choices are a form of romance with life. And then we come to something very important. Doing it for yourself. Many people begin self-improvement after heartbreak. They want to become prettier, stronger, richer, more successful, more magnetic, so that someone from the past will look back and regret. I understand that. Pain has a way of waking up our desire to change. But if the old person is still the reason, then your energy is still tied to them. You are still looking over your shoulder. You are still asking, do you see me now? My dear, let the healing go deeper than that. Let the day come when you no longer need them to see you in order for you to shine. Let the day come when you care for your body because you live in it. You learn the skill because your mind loves to grow. You build the career because your gifts deserve expression. You become beautiful in your own eyes because beauty is a celebration, not a weapon. I grow because I love myself, not because I need approval. There is such a different energy between growth from injury and growth from love. Injury says, I will show them. Love says, I will nourish me. Injury is hot, tense, and often exhausting. Love is steady. It may still be disciplined, but it is kinder. You go to bed earlier not because you hate the tired version of yourself, but because you want to meet tomorrow with more light. You move your body not because it is unacceptable as it is, but because it enjoys being alive. You study, create, save money, organize, learn, and practice because you are building a life that feels good to live in. You are not upgrading yourself to become worthy of being chosen. You are unfolding because life within you wants to bloom. A flower does not bloom to make the garden regret ignoring it. It blooms because blooming is its nature. Think of that. A rose does not say, I will open today so the other flowers know they lost something. It simply opens because life inside it is ready to express beauty. You are like that too. Your growth can become natural. Your healing can become less about proving and more about becoming. Your self-care can become less about appearance and more about friendship with yourself. And when you grow from love, the growth lasts longer. You are not fueled only by anger or rejection. You are fueled by devotion to your own life. Now, fall in love with your life as it is becoming, not only with the life you imagine having someday. Of course it is beautiful to dream. Dream of love, dream of abundance, dream of travel, peace, health, creativity, a lovely home, a body that feels alive, relationships that feel safe. Dreaming opens the heart. But do not make your present life feel like a waiting room. This day, with all its imperfections, is still your life. The light on the wall is your life. Your hands are your life. Your breakfast is your life. The song you love is your life. The breath that continues without being asked is your life. If you can love these small things, you begin to create the emotional atmosphere in which the larger dream can arrive without desperation. I do not postpone joy. I allow myself to enjoy life now. There may be a little guilt when you begin enjoying yourself. Some people were taught that pleasure must be earned, rest must be earned, beauty must be earned. Happiness must wait until all the work is done and everyone else is comfortable. But life was not meant to be only duty. You are allowed to enjoy the world. You are allowed to laugh alone. You are allowed to wear something lovely, even if no one compliments you. You are allowed to make your room beautiful, even if no one visits. You are allowed to eat slowly. You are allowed to dance badly. You are allowed to sit in the sun and do nothing for a few minutes. These are not useless moments. They remind the body that life is not only survival. They teach the nervous system that goodness can be simple. And when you start to enjoy your own life, something changes in love too. The absence of another person no longer destroys you in the same way. You may still miss someone. Missing someone is human. You may still feel a wave of sadness when you remember a voice, a place, a promise, or a version of the future you imagined. Let yourself feel that. We do not become hard in the name of self-love. But the difference is this: you no longer fall apart completely because someone is not there. Their absence no longer becomes a verdict on your worth. You can say, I miss them, and I am still here. I love them, and I still belong to myself. I wish things had been different, and I can still make tea, breathe, work, rest, laugh, and continue. This is grown self-love, soft but not collapsing, open but not empty, loving but not lost. You can love others deeply and still remain connected to yourself. In fact, that is the healthiest love. Love that requires you to abandon your body, your peace, your boundaries, your joy, your own life is not the love your soul is asking for. You can send love to someone and still not chase them. You can bless them and still not reopen a door that wounds you. You can remember the good and still choose the present. You can hold tenderness and self-respect in the same heart. That is a beautiful thing. It means you are not using coldness to protect yourself. You are using wholeness. I can love others deeply and still belong to myself. Perhaps today you begin with 1 hour that belongs to you, not to your phone, not to the person you keep thinking about, not to work, not to the old wound. 1 hour for you. Walk, write, Stretch. Make something warm. Clean. A small space. Sit with music. Look at your own face kindly. Ask yourself, what do I enjoy? What makes me feel alive? What did I love before I began waiting to be loved? These questions are gentle keys. They open doors inside you. You may discover parts of yourself you forgot. The playful part, the creative part, the quiet part, the part that loves beauty, the part that likes learning, the part that has dreams beyond being chosen. And do not be surprised if grief appears when you start loving your life. Sometimes, when we finally treat ourselves kindly, we feel the sadness of all the years we did not. We realize how long we waited, how harshly we spoke, how much of ourselves we gave away. Let that sadness be there. It is not a sign you are going backward. It is the heart thawing. It is the old loneliness leaving the body. You can hold it gently and say, yes, I know, we were away from ourselves for a long time, but we are coming home now. This is healing, not dramatic, not perfect, real. Your life does not need to look impressive to be lovable. Your mourning does not need to be aesthetic to be sacred. Your body does not need to match anyone's standard to deserve care. Your work does not need applause to have meaning. Your healing does not need to be fast to be real. You can fall in love with life in very ordinary ways, by blessing the water before you drink it, by thanking your feet for carrying you, by opening a window, by making your bed, by choosing a kinder thought, by not checking the phone when your heart is anxious, by returning your energy to your own body. These are small acts, but they are powerful because they say, I am no longer waiting outside my own life. And when you do things for yourself, let them be private sometimes. Let some beauty be yours alone. Not everything needs to become proof. Not every healing step needs to be shown. There is something very precious about becoming happy quietly. You do not have to announce every change. You do not have to perform wellness for anyone. You can simply become softer, more alive, more present, more at home. And one day, someone may notice the light in you, but by then, it will not be the reason you lit the lamp. You lit it because you wanted to see your own way. This is a different kind of happiness. It is not loud all the time. It does not depend on constant excitement. It is the happiness of being on your own side, the happiness of making peace with your reflection, the happiness of knowing you can spend time with yourself and not feel like you are being punished, the happiness of discovering that your own company has warmth, the happiness of realizing that love can come from many directions, including from within you. And if you still feel lonely sometimes, that is all right. Loving yourself does not mean you never desire connection. It means loneliness no longer convinces you to betray yourself. It means you can say, I would love to share my life with someone kind, and I will not abandon my life while I wait. It means you can welcome love without making it your only source of oxygen. It means you can choose friendships, community, beauty, movement, creativity, and prayer as forms of love too. Life has many arms. Let more than one hold you. So today, take yourself seriously as someone worthy of your own attention, not only when you are broken, not only when someone leaves, not only when you are trying to become better. Give yourself attention because you are here, because your inner world matters, because your joy matters, because you deserve to know what it feels like to be loved by the person you live with every day, yourself. Perhaps tonight You make a small date with yourself, a real one. Put the phone away for a little while. Make something warm to drink. Play a song that softens you. Write down 3 things you appreciate about yourself, even if they are small. I kept going. I am kind. I am learning. I have beautiful eyes. I am trying to speak to myself with more love. Let it be simple. The subconscious mind does not need grand speeches. It needs repetition, warmth, and consistency. It needs to know that you will come back again tomorrow. And slowly, this becomes a way of life. You stop waiting to be taken somewhere beautiful and begin taking yourself there. You stop waiting for someone to say the perfect thing and begin speaking more kindly within. You stop waiting for a relationship to make your life meaningful and begin placing meaning into the life you already have. Then, if love comes, it joins a life that is already warm. If someone stays, beautiful. If someone goes, you grieve, but you do not disappear. If the dream takes time, you still live today. This is freedom. Let the deeper message settle in naturally. I enjoy my own company. I grow because I love myself. I allow myself to enjoy life now. I can love others deeply and still belong to myself. These are not rules. They are invitations. Invitations to stop delaying your own happiness. Invitations to stop making self-love about someone else. Invitations to return to the ordinary sweetness of being alive. My dear, fall in love with your life in the place where it is today. Not because it is perfect, not because everything has arrived, but because this is the life that is asking for your love now. This body, this room, this morning, this healing, this breath, this little beginning, make it softer, make it kinder, make it yours. And as you do, you may find that happiness was not hiding in some future perfect moment. It was waiting in the small places, quietly saying, "Come back, sit with me, enjoy being you." If these words have reached the tender part of you, let them stay there for a moment. You do not need to prove anything now. You do not need to become stronger in one day. You only need to make one quiet promise to yourself. I am with you. I will not leave you when you are afraid. I will not criticize you when you are learning. I will not abandon you just because someone else could not stay. From this moment, you can begin again in a softer way. You can walk beside yourself. You can speak to yourself with kindness. You can hold your own heart through loneliness, through change, through healing, through every little beginning. And slowly, you will discover that being with yourself is not a second choice. It is the foundation of every love you will ever receive. Let this be your inner declaration today. I am with myself. I choose myself. I return to myself with love. And if you feel ready, write simply, I am with you as a promise to your own heart.